Hey everyone, and welcome back. So today we're jumping into a really cool puzzle in the world of AI. It's all about how these incredible machines learned a trick that until now was pretty much just, well, human. They learned how to plan ahead.
You've probably seen this yourself, right? You ask an AI to whip up a sentence and it's perfect, flawless. But then you ask it for a whole story or maybe a long email and things just fall apart. The plot meanders all over the place, it forgets its own characters, it just completely loses the thread. So what gives? Why is it so good at the little details, but so bad at the big picture?
And look, this isn't just a hunch. The research backs this up big time. This graph from the paper says it all. See that bar way over on the right? The one labeled human? That's our gold standard for coherent writing. The other bars, those are the AI models. And that huge space between them, that's what the researchers call a significant gap. It's hard proof that AI was missing something really important.
To really get what these researchers figured out, we've got to understand the original problem. And it all boils down to a fundamental flaw in how these models used to work, something I like to call the word-by-word trap.
Okay, let's break this down. On the left, that's your standard AI. All it's doing is predicting the next most likely word. It's thinking one single word at a time. There's no grand plan, no big idea. Now on the right, that's us. We don't do that, right? We start with an idea, maybe a quick outline in our head. We build a structure first, and then we fill it in. The old AI was basically trying to drive across the country with no map, just guessing the next turn. No wonder it got lost.
And this, right here, leads to the big aha moment from the researchers. They asked a really simple but totally game-changing question. What if we could teach an AI to stop just guessing the next word, and instead teach it to think like an actual writer? What if it could sketch out a plan first?
And that is exactly what they did. They came up with a whole new method, and the core of it is this concept they call a text skeleton. Honestly, this is the big idea that changes everything.
So, the official term for this technique is progressive generation. The key here is that instead of trying to write a whole complex document in one shot, the AI does it in stages. It starts with this rough skeleton of just keywords, and then it progressively adds more detail, layer by layer, until you've got a complete, well-structured piece of writing. The best way to think about it is like an artist. An artist doesn't start painting a masterpiece by perfecting one tiny little corner of the canvas. No way. They start with a rough sketch, right? They get the basic shapes down, then they add color, then shading, then details. They refine it progressively. That's exactly what this AI learned to do, but with words.
Now, this all sounds great in theory, but what does it actually look like when the AI does it? Let's watch it build a story, step by step, using an example straight from the research paper. It's pretty cool.
All right, check this out. The AI needs to write a news story, but in step one, it doesn't write a single sentence. It just spits out the most important keywords, the main ideas that are going to anchor the entire story. You see Beckham, some soccer clubs, a manager's name. This is the skeleton. It's just the bare bones, but it's the plan.
Okay, now for step two. The AI takes that skeleton and starts adding some flesh to those bones. It's still not writing full paragraphs, but look, it's turning those single words into more useful phrases. Beckham becomes David Beckham and former England captain. The clubs get grouped together. You can literally watch the story start to take shape as the AI connects the dots from its own plan. And here it is, the final stage. Using that fleshed-out plan as its roadmap, the AI now generates the full, polished text. And what you get is a totally coherent paragraph about David Beckham's career. It all makes sense, it all flows together, because it was built on that initial skeleton. It never lost the plot because it had one from the very beginning.
I mean, that's pretty amazing to watch, but the real question is, does this new method actually create better writing? Is it just a cool party trick, or is it a real improvement? The researchers put it to the ultimate test to find out. And this is so important. They didn't just use some computer metric to score the results. The paper makes it clear they brought in real people, university students, to actually read the AI's writing and judge how coherent and logical it was. Does it make sense to a human? That's the test that really matters.
And wow, the results speak for themselves. The standard word-by-word AI, it scored about a 70% on coherence. Not terrible, but not great. The human-written text, that's our benchmark, almost 94%. But look right there in the middle, progressive generation. It's a massive, massive leap forward.
Let's just park on that number for a second. 86.22%. That's the score this new method got from human judges. It dramatically closed that gap with human-level writing. The theory worked. Planning really is everything.
So you might be thinking, okay, cool, the AI can write better stories, But this is so much bigger than that. Teaching an AI how to plan ahead has huge implications for where this technology is going. See, once an AI can plan, its potential just explodes. It goes from being a simple text spitter to a real writing assistant that can help you draft structured reports. For coders, it becomes a much better partner for writing complex programs where structure is absolutely everything. For students, it can create amazing summaries of dense articles. This isn't just about better writing. It's a huge step towards an AI that can actually reason and think long-term, not just guess the next word.
This whole thing just opens up so many possibilities and leaves us with this one really exciting question. We just saw how teaching AI a fundamentally human trick, making a plan before you start, unlocked a whole new level of skill. So if AI can now plan its writing, what's next? What other complex, creative jobs are just one clever idea like this away from being completely mastered? Makes you think, doesn't it?